who are the descendants of the ancient Hebrews. It's their land that they want to keep. They were the ones who were there first. They're the ones being cleansed from their land by the Israeli. They were living there all along. But for generations back into antiquity, when a bunch of Russians and Lithuanians and Germans and New Yorkers showed up and said the land belonged to them. The actual source is David Ben-Gurion himself.
You're saying that Muslims always
had been there. That's right. Because here's why. Because when the Muslims came and took over that land, they did not cleanse the land of the people who lived there. And they did not invade it with a giant occupying force to replace them. All they did was take them over and tax
them. In 1903, the British government offered the Jewish people about 80,000 acres in Uganda. Mm-hmm. And they said no. And the reason that they said no, so there's what you don't know, there was like a big, this is very interesting, there was a big conflict between the rabbis and the secular Jewish movement. So the rabbis said, like, we cannot go, the rabbis were the one who actually the objected, said, we cannot go to Palestine. It's like, what do you mean? It's the promised land. It's like, yes, it's the promised land when the real Jesus comes. So the secular said, well, maybe we should go to Palestine and that will invite real Jesus to come. It was like a whole, by the way, this is all in Tudor Herzl memoirs. You can read about that. And even 1903, Tudor Herzl, in page 96, in the pamphlet for the Jewish state, he said, maybe the Jewish people should just get what they can.
Began the Inquisition, who did they kick out first? They kicked out the Jews and the Muslims. They kicked out both of us together, which indicates what? That before then, who was living in peace and harmony together, or at least relative peace and harmony? It was the Jews and the Muslims, right? And so actually the Ottoman Sultan at the time, he sent ships of his own navy to come and evacuate the Jews out of Spain and bring them to the Ottoman Empire, right? These are things that are normal for us, okay? And Allah says in the Quran, he says, Allah doesn't prevent you from treating well and doing justice to the people who are, they're not trying to kill you for your faith, and they're not trying to turn you out of your homes. No.
Where can we find that? If someone says, what's the source of this thing?
We will put the source in the comment section. Okay. We will put all the sources, the entire text of these quotes in the...
Read the Quran, you will find the answers you're looking for. No doubt.